Hello everybody, uxwbill here. Guess what the Keykeeper and I are doing? We're engaging in potentially delinquent behavior. I was also trying to watch the weasel show out here. It occurred to me at the last possible moment that I actually do have Wi-Fi. You know, I could kind of carry this thing around, but much to my chagrin, I guess the conditions aren't quite right because we lost the signal. Anyway, let's go see what the Keykeeper's doing.
It is being very delinquent. I am practicing my Grand Theft Auto skills.
This looks serious, folks. Not only does he have tools strewn all over the hood of the Mercury, but if we look in here, I think you'll see, folks, that he may have lost his right to the name Keykeeper. Unfortunately, he only got one set of keys with the even bigger green piece of junk, and he lost them. So now it's a really...
Honk, 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 honk.
That's the perfect accessory for backseat drivers. Anyway, he got the key cylinder out. Where is that thing? Can you show it to us? Or did you lose that too?
No, it's
oh, here it is. Here it is right here. We got that out. And now we're going to engage in... I don't know if there is such a thing as incidental or minor theft auto, because technically we do own this truck. So he's going to slap it back together here, put the steering wheel back on it. And this thing, I've got to say, folks, it has really junked out, because not only did we get the keys lost, but the starter is now completely dead. The starter does absolutely nothing if you attempt to crank this truck up. I have no idea where that came from. Oh, and look at this. This crappy Ford Escort came to visit us again, too. The auto-zoned out lifetime replacement starter on it. Well, I think the reason they call those lifetime replacement starters is because that's what you'll spend your lifetime doing. Got automotive electrical 097 over here, I think. Anyway, you can spend your lifetime replacing these starters. The starter would engage, but the drive gear wouldn't actually fly out and do its thing. So let's see what we can get into trouble with just as soon as the Keykeeper gets done throwing the steering column back together in this truck, plugging everything back in where it belongs. We'll have to pull start it, but one thing we did get, so we'll go ahead and see if that, well, that hood popper feels real reassuring in the hand, let me just tell you. One thing we did get done on this truck, we have, just watch me drop this handy cam all over the place when he inadvertently sounds the horn again. We have a new harmonic balancer / crank pulley in there, and we're just dying to see how well the truck is now going to run, or if it's still as rattly as it was with that new unit in place. But since we don't have the keys, and since it seems that someone rekeyed the ignition on this truck, which is why we couldn't get keys cut from the VIN at the dealer, we've got to resort to rather more desperate measures. So thanks to the magic of video editing, we'll be back in a few. Tried to have the weasel show on out here and didn't have quite enough range on the Wi-Fi. Usually I can get at least out to the old GMC, but I guess the conditions just weren't quite what they needed to be. Luckily, however, we have connectivity here in the garage if I don't fall and bust myself. Got a good old little Linksys router here, doing duty as a WDS bridge, and at least giving me a connection to the weasel show via wired Ethernet. So it's better than nothing. Well, it's starting to go back together now. Got some kind of a puller on there now.
Actually, this is a compressor.
Oh, a compressor.
There's a spring under here. Under this metal pressure plate, there's a spring. And what this does, I'll illustrate. See the snap ring?
Yeah.
I have to push this pressure plate down to relieve tension on the snap ring to remove and install it. Okay. I borrowed this from one of the senior technicians at work because this is the only way you can do this. I've heard it say that you can go buy a $10 tool, but I'd rather borrow the right tool and get the job done.
Is the right tool pronounced Snap-Off or Matco in this case?
This is actually a Matco kit.
Ah.
Part number MST6503.
I believe I see some contraband down here. You know, you're always getting on me for stealing your tools.
Yes, that's your toolkit because I need it.
You stole mine because I've got like 10,000 Torx drivers in there, even in half-step sizes. So let's see what happens here. Just putting that last little major piece on before the steering wheel goes back into place. I think at some point along the line he's got to put in the spring wire for the horn switch as well. So we'll be back in a few. Oh yeah, folks, this looks like bad news to me. He's got the accessory power turned on.
I have the key to the run position.
He's got her in the run position without a key locking cylinder. Don't try this at home, kids. You'll go to the big house.
I do not endorse stealing vehicles.
Unless you own them.
Unless you own them.
I don't know what this thing is, but I've heard that it's necessary. What that big round thing might be. I don't think a lot of people use those in modern cars. Oh, that's nice. A little wire just sprang off right there. They're probably too busy texting and all that kind of stuff.
It's showtime, boys and girls. You got your truck ready?
I'll go get it. Okay, you can barely see it, but there it is. Now, this little truck is not a traction king at the best of times, so it'll be interesting to see how it does with this particular fool's errand. Okay, here we go, folks. He's running. Let's see how it sounds, boys and girls. Let's see how it sounds. The answer is that it sounds a million times better.
My brakes are stuck in. I'm trying to figure out what I did there.
Oh, you can't cycle them?
Yeah, I can't cycle.
No, they don't work at all, do they?
How come you can't do that when I pull start you?
The high beams are stuck on. That's not terribly productive.
Next thing we find out, it doesn't have any brakes.
Oh, that'd be hilarious,
And
wouldn't
one
it?
of us will have to be towing behind him, and I'll have to signal us behind his horn.
We'll have to dig our feet into the ground. Where do you suppose he's going with that crazy thing?
He's burning gas and wasting time. I like that phrase, burning gas and wasting time. It's like what I do at work, except I actually have to work, unlike him.
Funny. Funny, 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 till somebody loses an eye. All right, folks, we're not actually done yet. We haven't set fire to too much. The fur head's going to pull the Keykeeper's even bigger green piece of junk out with the heap. Interesting to see how that heap compares to how my truck did. My truck really had no problem. I was surprised. And then they're going to pull start it. Boy, that heap is lit up like a house afire.
So I hear you're making a movie, but you're short on light.
Whatever
Listen
gave
up.
you that idea?
I'm a lighthouse, baby. Woo-woo! Yeah.
We're crazy. We are
He's a woo-woo, all right, isn't he?
Mopar, baby.
Yep, we are definitely up to no good here. Now, mind you, I'm pretty sure the owner's manual says not to do this.
Low, first, second.
Here we go.
Easy, easy, easy.
Oh! All right, pull us, fur head, pull us. See if he can get it lit. Oh yeah, he got it lit. Does that tape deck look awesome in night shot or what? See the heater lines in the display too. Oh, and we have single speaker stereo.
Dual speaker.
Speako? What's a Speako?
Dual speaker, man. It's the latest technology in crappy stereo equipment. It's like the stereo dust particles. How was
Sure,
Weasel's show tonight?
It was excellent.
Good. Oh, I live to hear that diesel run.
It's pretty dark. We can't really see very much, but you get the idea. It is moving under its own power. Hey, have you got turn signals?
Yes, I do. I'm gonna get out on the highway and open this baby up.
Alright, let's just hope the candy ham battery holds out that long. This thing sounds a lot better than it did. And yes, we really are driving without any keys in the switch. Got it completely bypassed. This is a very thief-friendly truck.
Not really.
Sure it is. Any idiot can figure out how to turn that thing in there with the right tools. These two did.
And we're definitely the right tools. I think I needed to line it. My stereo's not quite straight. I have a brain surgeon.
I think those are congressmen.
Those are congressmen.
I think we're having way too much fun with this. Oh, I almost forgot to mention, and the Keykeeper just reminded me, another thing we did to this truck in the process of fixing it, check out that fuel gauge. It now reads accurately. He and Furhead dropped the tank, and they set the whole thing up with a new sending unit, which is what was wrong.